first 2 semesters,
Yes.
you have to pass at least 2 of those exams.
2 of them.
Yeah, if you don't pass them, you fail.
So you won't be able to continue this program.
Right, normally you cannot. You just get like exmatrikuliert, as you say it in German.
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Karen, and today I invited a guest, Orkun, to share his study experience in Germany.
Hello, my name is Orkun and I am currently studying informatics in Munich. Now first semester of my master's, and I'm here to have a nice talk with Karen.
Yeah, okay. So you mentioned you study informatics at TUM, right?
Right.
Yeah. And why did you decide to study this program?
So in school back then I had a very interest for mathematics and also a bit of physics.
Yeah.
But it turned out to be mathematics was like my favorite subject in class.
Yes.
And then I was between mathematics, like the study program, and informatics. While deciding between these two, I realized that informatics is more like more practical, like more you do stuff, you build stuff, and you can directly translate your knowledge in mathematics and logic into real-world applications.
Yeah. And did you also apply for other schools? Because you are not originally from Munich, right?
No. So I grew up in Hamburg.
Yeah.
And then I applied to 2 universities. I think it was Aachen and Munich.
Aachen, okay.
So the application process was kind of similar.
Yes.
I think Aachen required like a portal, like independent of Aachen. I think it was called Hochschulportal.
Okay.
And TU Munich had its own platform where you can apply. I think it's called TUM Online.
TUM Online, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And so in Germany, if you come from Germany or like an EU country,
Yes.
you have, as far as I know, no limitations on your grades. So they don't really matter in general. But specific to Aachen and Munich, they have internal numerous clauses, internal minimum grades you need. And they change over the years, but when I applied, it was around like 1.8 out of 4.
GPA.
So in GPA it would be 3.3, 3.2
Yes.
out of 4. But they have a focus on like science subjects and English and German. So they weighted mathematics twice, they weighted German and English twice. Also they weighted one more scientific subject twice.
Okay. Next question is your program in German or English?
So the bachelors are in German,
Yes.
but in practice
Yeah.
it's more like 50-50 German and English. But you definitely need to know German
Yeah.
to get into the TUM.
Okay. So it's like C1 at least, or C2.
I'm not sure which level it is, but probably B2, maybe C1. So it depends. I think B2 is a great pointer to achieve. I think in the beginning it's more German, definitely. Like I think all of the classes are German.
Yeah.
But like from the second semester on, some of them are in English.
Yes.
So it really depends. But German is definitely a must. So without German, you probably
won't be able to graduate.
Right. And like out of experience,
Yes.
like all the international students that are at the TUM, they kind of like used like a translation tool to translate the tools and the slides and the speeches. So that might be an option, but you definitely need like some certification of German.
Yeah. Okay, understood. So, which expertise and skills can students acquire from this program?
So the bachelor's in informatics is a very wide array of topics. So you can do anything from databases to hardware programming, compiler programming, up to like machine learning, AI, algorithms, game design, high performance computing, like anything's possible between like the hardware and the high level software stuff.
So very technical, right?
Yeah, very technical, but at least it's not very dry. So there's a lot of practical stuff is included.
Okay. And do you also have to learn some courses in business area? Or?
You don't have to, but you have to choose a second subject.
Yeah.
So you can choose between like business, economics, math, which I would recommend.
Why you recommend math?
Because I think the math side subject gives great insight into more advanced computer science subjects, which are math heavy. For example, if you want to do something in like game theory, this is a very nice thing to do, or like modeling different simulations. This requires a lot of math knowledge. Even like today with machine learning and AI, this one's a very important factor.
Mathematics. Okay.
Yeah, and next to mathematics, you can also choose electronics, machine vision. What was it in English? Maschinenbau. So it's
isn't it just machine learning?
No, I mean engineering.
Yeah,
like engineering, and I think medicine also. These all are the second subjects you can choose from.
Okay, understood. And so far, what was your favorite class?
I think my favorite class was the English word.
Cannot think of anyone.
No, I think it's like Betriebssysteme, but I don't know what that's. Betriebssysteme. So it's basically it's like the operating systems class. That was, I think, my favorite one because this one gave me like an introduction to how like the hardware manages to run all these programs with different users at the same time. So that's probably my first favorite class so far.
Okay, so it's more like a theoretical class or practical, you would say?
I think it's more theoretical, but the knowledge you learn can be applied very easily into practical projects.
Okay, understood. Are the students required to do any internship or project study in this program?
Right, so internships at companies are not required.
So not mandatory?
No. You can do them, and I would strongly advise to do them. They're very great.
Yeah.
But what you have to do is like a 1 semester practical project. So it's 10 ECTS, and it's very practical, kind of difficult, but you learn quite a lot in this time. And mostly the practical project you choose, you do it as a chair. This project often leads to thesis proposals and thesis projects also.
Okay, so you mean it's kind of connected to the thesis you will do in the future?
Yeah, it's not officially connected. Yeah. But because the class sizes are smaller, you are a lot more connected to like the teaching staff there, to professors, to PhD students. And once they see that you have potential, once they see that okay, he can do stuff, he does it lovingly or stuff, then it's a lot easier to communicate with them and say, hey, I want to do a thesis. Do you have something?
Okay, got it. And is this project study only do it with the chair, or you do it with company?
Yes, so I think the normal is with a chair, but depending on the situation, you might also do it with a company, but a chair might need to still supervise you and be like the second confirming member.
Okay. The next topic is exam and thesis. So people always think that it's very difficult to graduate from a German university. And what do you think about this?
So I can't really compare it with other countries because I've only studied in Germany. But inside Germany there are like levels to it.
What is
So in the sense of at TUM in Munich, the exams are very difficult in my opinion.
Yeah, I know.
But compared to like, let's say, I don't know, Universität Bremen, okay, so University in Bremen, it's easier there.
Okay.
Because the level at TUM or in Aachen or in Karlsruhe and similar universities in Germany are quite high. So comparing it to what you learn in the lecture,
Yes.
it's kind of similar,
Yeah.
but still they require quite a lot of knowledge and also knowledge which was not on the slides, like something which you can like interpret from it, like new questions, like right. So if you learn A and B, you should be able to like infer C out of those two. So that's the difficulty in exams, I would say. And because of the sheer size of people at informatics,
Yes.
so in the first semesters and bachelors there can be like around 1,000 people. They have to like make exams which have a certain standard. They can't really guide everyone through it.
Yeah.
So what happens mostly is like in the first couple of semesters,
Yes.
a lot of people fail.
Okay.
Right. And talking about exams,
Yes.
in the first semester in bachelors,
Yeah.
there are 4 subjects. First of all is computer architecture, practical programming,
Okay.
programming theory, and discrete mathematics.
Okay. This 4.
Right. And in the first 2 semesters,
Yes.
you have to pass at least 2 of those exams.
2 of them.
Yeah. If you don't pass them, you fail.
So you won't be able to continue this program.
Right. Normally you cannot. You just get like exmatrikuliert, as we say it in German. But they will tell you once you start, like very thoroughly.
Yeah.
Because like most of the students are like scared to not pass them.
Yes.
But if you kind of study and are like kind of adept, you can pass them easily, I think.
Talking about a smart student. Your exam is mostly written exam, right? Some are presentation, but mostly are written.
Right. Most exams are written. There are some subjects where you need to present something.
Yes.
For example, the practical course, project course we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
There I had to make a project first of all, and then I had to present the project. And in the second semester there is another practical course about computer architecture.
Yeah.
There you have to write in C and assembly about some task, and it has 3 different deliverables. Like first of all is the project itself. Second is like a written report, and third is like a presentation.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a very comprehensive exam.
Yeah, this one's actually, before it was even more difficult. Before it was 8 ECTS, but with time they realized, okay, we need different subjects and more subjects, so they reduced it from 8 to 5, I think. So now it's very manageable.
Okay. And do you need to do some essay for exam?
Like essays are just required in the seminar.
In the seminar. Okay.
Right, there you get a topic assigned, and you can choose a topic also. And with this topic you kind of have to write like a paper, like a scientific paper, like an essay about it. But except that, you don't really need to write essays, except some professors might want it as optional coursework you can do next.
Oh, okay. Is it like one seminar per semester? No, per year or?
It's just one seminar for a whole study program.
So I think it's quite different from my school because I'm studying in a private university. And our exam is consisted of written exam and also presentation, but we also have a lot of essay. Yeah, have to write. So it's a little bit different. Yeah.
I see.
But I would say our exam is, of course, much more easier than.
Okay.
Yeah. So talking about exams, so how many chances can a student to take one SEM exam?
So I think this is a great part about TUM for a student, which is the exams might be hard, but you can technically take an exam as much as you want. There's no real limitation. The only thing is which limits the amount of exams you can take is like the maximum amount of semesters you can study without failing the study program.
So what is the maximum semester can a student study for bachelor?
So the regular time, first of all, is like 6 semesters. And they give you an extra 2 semesters of time to finish your studies. So it's at most 8 semesters.
So 4 years. Maximum.
Maximum 4 years.
Okay. And the next question is, how do you manage or balance your studies and your work life or your private life?
I think this is the most challenging question for me, or maybe for most students. Because the TUM is a hard university. It's very difficult. So you have to put a lot of time into it. And if you miss intentionally or unintentionally some classes or wake up late, for example, then you have to like get all of lost time back and study. So if you are inefficient, then the whole week looks the following. You wake up, you go to university, you study, you go home, eat, sleep, repeat. So this can be very challenging, especially in the first semester. And then going into university, it was like, hey, you don't have to come to lectures, or like the lectures are like at different times, so you have to adjust to that and then study accordingly and efficiently. So the first semester I stopped doing sports. I had only social interactions inside of university, and after the first semester you were like, oh my god, what have I done? And then you just like gradually adjust it.
So it always takes some time.
Definitely.
Senior high school to university.
Yeah. I think the workload can be described as 40 to 50 hours, maybe even 60, depending on how good a grade you want.
Okay, so the next question is about thesis. From my understanding, the TUM student have to write the thesis in the last semester, right?
Right. So in informatics, and I think most other study programs also, there is 15 ECTS big thesis mandatory for any student. So the thesis can be also done at the company, which a lot of people do. I'm not sure if it's the majority, but I've seen enough people that that do it. So the thesis is 4 months.
4 months.
And I would say quite challenging, because the professors or like the companies you work at, not at every subject, but most of them expect quite a lot from you, especially if you are kind of like kind of experienced in what you're doing. So and after 4 months, you given your thesis. It should be around 30 to 60 pages.
30 to 60 pages. Okay.
But it can be more, by the way. So it's not like a hard limit. It depends on the topic, your professor. But a tip for anyone writing your thesis: you should try to make it as short as possible, while conveying all the information and necessary topics inside the thesis. After you turn in your paper, your thesis, you get like a week or 2 to prepare a presentation.
You also have to do a presentation.
So basically you defend your thesis.
In bachelor?
Yeah. It's not a real defense like for your PhD, for example, but it kind of goes to that direction. So what you do is you are in front of the chair, the whole chair, and you present. And the chair can ask questions about your topic, which the chair almost always does because they know the topics, right? And it's about their research area.
Yeah. So actually, it's very different because for me, I also need to write a thesis, but we don't need to do a defense at the end. We only need to submit the thesis itself, and then my supervisors will just give me a grade. That's it.
Okay.
Did you do the thesis with the company or only inside the university?
No, I did it with the chair.
With the chair?
Yeah.
Okay. And may I ask what is the topic of the thesis and how do you approach the professors?
So, as I said earlier, I did my project course with this chair. And the topic of my thesis was energy harvesting and energy management in embedded devices. What that means is embedded devices are just like smaller computers, if you will. And my topic was about the software and hardware, about how to harvest or like use ambient energy like sunlight, wind, water, and smartly manage it inside the microcontroller, inside the embedded system.
So it's more like a reusable energy topic?
Right, it goes into that direction. And the cool thing about my thesis was that it was, next to being research focused, also very practical. Like I had to actually build it myself, write the code for it, test it, and apply it in like real conditions.
Okay, sounds very interesting and very technical. And you mentioned that at TUM you have 4 months to finish your thesis, right? But I heard a lot of students, they have a trick. So they approach to professor first and then they register later on. Does it also apply to you?
So it kind of does, but not really. So what you're saying, I've heard that a lot. So you can define when to start the thesis. Right? It's more like you have to like register your thesis, right? And to register it, you can just like they have like a deadline each month. And if you miss the deadline, you can register it later. And the deadline of the thesis ends like exactly 4 months after registration. So if you register later, you have more time. But personally, I would not recommend it.
Why?
Because the 4 months have a purpose, right? And the purpose is to like have like some thesis, some like content, but it's limited amount of content, right? So if you take more time, then you need to do more in that time. For example, what I had, and some friends had also. So I extended my thesis by 1 month, if you will. So I registered 1 month later. But that month didn't get me a lot. I mean, it got me a lot, like in content-wise, but I did a lot more then. So I did 1 month more of work. So some chairs, which maybe you should like be aware of, kind of say, hey, here's a topic. You gotta work in like 2 to 3 months. And then register, and then do the work. So they basically want you to work 6 to 7 months just for a bachelor's thesis, right? But I mean, I think like extending 1 or 2 months could be fine depending on how your time goes. Right, finding a flat in Munich is quite difficult, I think, because I mean you should maybe apply to the Studentenwerke to get a student dorm, right? And then when you're students, some tenants tend to not give it to you because you're students.
Because they check your salaries, right?
Right.